is my English 2010 adventure book. Because I was really bored. I started English 2010 thinking I was good at writing. I didn't know I had so much to learn, which is really true. I thought I was really great at this. Luckily, I was wrong. First, I learned to use different documents to organize a research project. Previously, when I did research projects, which wasn't very often, my main focus was taking notes on documents. I didn't realize that I could make a matrix to organize quotes. I had never heard of an annotated bibliography, which was a huge help when I was creating actual bibliographies and organizing my notes. And brainstorming actually really helped me to refine my topic before I started my researching. Things like that helped me to save time in the long run. One of my favorites was the pancake draft, which is so true. I ended up using pancake drafts for a bunch of my other classes as well, especially my social ethics class, and I found that the more times I wrote a draft, the more concise my points would get, and I could better sort out my ideas and make sure that the flow worked, and it took a lot of stress out of writing the drafts because I was no longer worried about it being perfect that first time. All I needed was to get my thoughts out on paper and I could figure it out afterwards. Pancake drafts ended up being something that really improved my grades and my writing in more classes than just English 2010. I also learned how to take effective notes. Something that I learned, especially in writing in Chicago paper style, is that taking notes isn't just about writing down the information you find, it's about writing down when you access the information and on what page you found the information, if it's coming from a journal or some sort of scholarly article. This saved me a lot of time when I was writing citations, especially in paper citations, when I was putting together final products of projects, and I'm really glad that I figured it out now in my freshman year instead of later on when I have more papers to do. Something important I learned was to research my opposition so I could have a rounded argument. Now, this is something that I always knew a little bit of how to do, but it was always in the last paragraph, I'll say one argumentative point that someone else might bring up and then discount it. What I never thought about was really taking a look at the other side and having an argument that wasn't even an argument really, but a nice layout of the situation. This is what some people say, and this is what other people say, and then this is what I think. This is where I lay, instead of saying this is what I say and this is why what everyone else says is wrong. I think that will really help me in the long run as I write research papers and argumentative papers so that I don't offend anyone and I'm actually heard. I didn't realize I don't need to be an expert to write a research paper. This is something I'm still working on, but my master project ended up not being completed because the more I wrote notes on and the more I learned, the more questions I came up with, and I always felt overwhelmed by the amount of information that I didn't know and couldn't explain in my paper. What I've learned, however, is that I don't need to know everything about a paper or a topic in order to write a paper about it and still be knowledgeable. This is going to help me in the future because I'll be able to really complete projects without feeling like I'm not doing everything that I could. I don't have to be an expert on sexual education in order to say that I believe a certain format should be taken. But I did realize I write in passive voice a lot. I also probably speak in passive voice a lot, which isn't a bad thing, but it's not as powerful a form of writing, and so something that I worked on for one of my skills drills and continue to work on is writing in active voice. Luckily, I've learned and will continue to do so. I definitely anticipate using all of this knowledge as I continue in my college career. Thank you, John, for all you taught me.